Right, welcome back. So you can see we've got another unboxing video. This time it's the AMORGE 72 volt 120 amp continuous 200 peak bicycle battery. I say bicycle battery because it's not a triangle battery, it's not a square battery, it's a different shape, but I believe this will work on the bicycle. You might have a bit of overlay either side, but if you can get a battery of this quality for the bicycle, I think it'd be better. And this is going on the fat wheel bike, so the frame's a little bit bigger, but we'll get into it and we'll have a little look. So let's get into the box. I've had this now probably for about, I'm trying to figure out how long, about 2 months. I ain't even opened it. I've been so busy with other stuff. That's why there ain't been a lot of videos coming up. So once again, lovely packed. Once again, I ain't got a Stanley blade, I've just got a cheese knife this time. So I didn't have a carving knife, I've got a cheese knife. So we'll open that up. Once again, first impressions as we open it. So they like to use the foam, what I like. I hate the polystyrene, I've said it before in my videos. I love the foam, and I always think the foam is more sturdier, is better. So once again, loads of foam. They really pack their batteries. Not like that review I see last time. I've done a lot on my last video, and a lot of people was moaning about the quality and packing. You never get this with AMORGE. So first thing, thank you for purchasing. And it just tells you about all your questions, and if you have any questions or anything else, it's all in there. They're really good company. Right, so what should we go with first? So we got our standard cables. So we've got our, that's funny, they've put tape on one side. Do you think they've done that because they saw my last video when I touched both ends and it blew? I think that's why they've done it. They've put tape on one side so the ends can't touch. Maybe that's what they're doing with everyone now. So if you have bought one, comment and tell me if they've done that recently, or is that just for me? But maybe me nearly blowing myself up has actually done something good. Obviously it was stupid, you don't plug it in with nothing connected to it, but sorry, my phone rang. What I was saying, yeah, when you get a bit excited and you just want to plug it in because you've got your new battery and then you make a mistake, that's quite a good safety feature. So I'm hoping they actually watched the last video, and that's why. Right, so that's another cable. I should have an extra cable because I asked for another one, because when you connect to the controllers, it's often, you can get a spark. They're meant to be anti-spark, but it just blackens them up a little bit. So yeah, so we got that. What's in here? Wow. Right, I'm guessing, yeah, like they all come with the standard charger. So I've got another charger there, so that's good. Just a standard, I think it's like 5 amp charger or 3 amp. Like nothing overly special. I do actually want to get the ones where you can program what amp you want yourself and everything else, the really nice ones. But it looks like they haven't put in my extra cable I pay for. Oh well. Right, so once again, more foam. Brilliant. Better than polystyrene. Holds it in better. There we go. Okay, this feels a bit bigger than I first thought, so maybe this ain't going to be great for the bicycle, but we'll soon find out. So this is the one we wanted to see. So we move this out of the way. I'll get on to stats and blah 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 afterwards, but we open this up first. So nicely packed, all done with foam. Because the problem is, they get thrown onto the cargo ship, they get taken off, and then when they're with your local courier, have you seen it when you see these centres when they like putting them on the vans? Things are getting lobbed about, and when you've got I don't want to be cutting the battery. When you've got a battery this size, you don't want any damage. Batteries are dangerous enough. That's why I always say, make sure when you get a battery, don't go cheap on it. If you can't afford a good battery, wait. Don't buy a kit to buy a cheap battery, because one, your battery controls is your BMS, is your maximum output. So whatever it does, gives you its max line current, that's the power, max power you're going to get. It don't matter if you've got an 8,000 watt hub motor, it doesn't matter. It's all down to the battery. And also safety. You don't want it setting a light in your house and burning down your house, or while you're sleeping, while your family's there. So don't rush, take your time and pay proper money. Right, here we go. See, look how well packed this is. Right, there we go. So, let's move this out of the way. To be fair, it's not a bad size. It's bloody heavy, like normal. But my idea is to have it sort of sitting like that, sort of in the middle of in the frame. We'll find out. It might be no good, but it's worth a try. And then we can see if they can design a triangle one for us. But yeah, once again, so here we go. I'll film this bit for you. Make it easy, and then I'll be able to tell you everything about it. So here we go. So it's a 72 volt, it's 20 amp, its max continuous discharge is 20 amp, 120 amp continuous, and it has a max discharge of 200 for 10 seconds. So if you watch my other videos up there, when you do your far driver, obviously a lot of your switches you have a 3-speed switch. So on your third switch, you could set that up for 200 amp. You're only going to get max discharge for 10 seconds, but it's like almost like a boost button, so you can go faster. And then you're going to have your 120 as your continuous. Then obviously you can go lower. So that's good. Charge rating voltage is 84. So when you look on there and you see it says 84 volts, that's why. And max charge current is 10 amps. So if you have a better charger, you can basically you can pull it up to 10 amps. So you're getting 10 amps an hour. So this will charge in a couple of hours. So there you go. If you've ever not used one of these before, so what you do, I'll show you. So we'll go into now screen mode. There we go. Then we'll go into camera, if it will let me do it. Right, so then we scan the barcode. There we go. Well, it should scan. Why is it not scanning? It's because I've got screen mode on, I think. Right, let me turn screen mode off. Bam, bam. And then we go back onto camera. There we go. And then it takes us to the site to download, but I've already got this. So I'm going to go onto my app. There we go. And I'll put screen record back on so you can see. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera, but I'm just showing you how to re-download the app. There we go. So we're going to go into here, ask not to track, like normal, allow, and then device list. Because I've already got this set up on my other one, I don't know if I'm going to have to change around. Why is it coming up with people's dryers and stuff? This is crazy. It's got to be that one, isn't it? Yeah, top one. There we go, confirm. And then we're connected. So let's have a look. So it's at the minute it's holding 79% battery, because they're not going to send it fully charged, but it's sitting in that nice zone. And apparently when you actually leave these batteries, you should always keep them about 75% charge anyway, not 100%. So if we can go in and we can see at the minute it's holding 78 volts because it's at 79%. It's not at the full 84 volts. And if we go down, warning, battery full, chargers on, standby. So these are all just the things when they've been charged. And if you come down here, it shows you the individual voltage for each cell you have inside. So if you ever get dead cells or missing, you can see what's happened and you can see which one it is. So yeah, so you see all that, and then you can go back up to the top, and then you have extra settings. So in here you could literally set your boost, so where it says 10 seconds, if you only want it to be boosting for 7 seconds, so forth. What your max amp you want to come out, so it's a max of 120, but you might say to it, but you do this on the, if you have a file driver or a programmable controller, you can do that anyway. But you could say, I don't want it to go more than 100. So yeah, so you've got all stuff to play with there. And then it'll always tell you when you're charging if there's any problems with the battery, if anything's going wrong with the battery, everything else. It's just brilliant. You've got that BMS and you've got the Bluetooth to it, so you can see everything that's going on with it. Sign of a nice solid battery, nicely built. And if you go on any Facebook page on these, especially on the Razer pages and stuff like that, everyone talks about these because they're not the most expensive battery, they're not the cheapest battery, but the quality's there. So that's brilliant. So we've got this, so we turn that off for the minute. Right, before I get into the details of how I brought it and everything else, I want to see, I bought a bag. I need to find a bag big enough, and I hope this is big enough, and I'll show you my plan. So let's open the bag up. Looking like they've lied on the size a little bit on this bag, because it was meant to be wider than that, like normal things, innit? So let's see if we can try and get this in somewhere. Whoa! You always forget how heavy these bloody things are. Right, so start with that hole for the cable is not big enough, but obviously I'll make that bigger. So what we do, actually, so we can slide that in, pull it to the back. Right, so normally obviously I have my cables coming out, or actually I wouldn't have my cables coming out, I'm an idiot. I'd have my battery cable going through here, so it's not getting wet. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? And then we can do up our bag. And I actually have room. I could put the controller in there. And the thing with the controller, obviously you don't want it to overheat. But I suppose we could, but it's only like when you put them in a box, but you could put extra vents if you're going to maybe put a bit of foam in there, because there's more than enough room. I don't know if you can see. Oh, it's bloody heavy, I can't pick it up like that. Probably won't see it there, but there's more than enough room to fit your controller in. A 72450 would fit in there perfectly. So we could put a bit of foam in there, some of this in there, and then we could put the controller that side, and everything's nicely tucked away in that bag. So a lot of the time when you're driving or riding on the road, not that I ever would, because obviously it's not legally recommended, so I would never ride on the road. But if you did, it's all a bit impact, you ain't got cables everywhere hiding away. So let's do that up. So there we go. So to be fair, that don't fit too bad. If you're going to get a triangle, even a triangle battery at that size, it's going to be thick. So that could nicely sit on the bar. You've got all your bits, you could tie that up. I mean, you can put some tie wraps around it anyway, and that would fit on your bar, to be honest. So to be fair, it's not your traditional triangle battery, but it's an AMORGE. It can work as a bicycle battery, and it would fit, and you know they're great. So for me, that's a win-win. So you know what, I'm really happy with that. Look at that. You can just sit, actually, my camera's not playing ball, but wow. Nice triangle. It seems thick, but to be fair, when you put it there on that frame, and the way you sit, I think that would be more than comfortable. So what we're going to do, obviously that 72 volt bike, 5000 watt bike on the fat wheel bike I'm building, I've got the other hub for it. But instead of doing that for the minute, because the weather's getting bad, it needs spraying, it's not the season for it. So I'm going to put this with a 72450 file driver on with the old hub motor and just ramp it up. I don't even know what that hub is. It come with the bike. I reckon it's 3,000, but it could be 3,000, 5,000. We're just going to ramp it up, put through the 120, even try a higher a voltage and just see what happens. See if we can, it will end up blowing it up, but it doesn't matter because I'm changing it anyway. So that's perfect. So we've got that sorted. Right, we're going to go on to the buying process. These are one of the easiest companies you will ever work with on Alibaba. Simple stuff with them. Honestly, it is. So here we go. So I put my record on. So I sent them the link to this battery. So I went on Alibaba, went on their page, had a look. They actually say it's a bicycle battery. So I had a look, and then I went on to, so they, so I clicked on the link, and then I just put, can I get a price with shipping to the UK for the 20 amp, 72 volt, 120 amp bicycle battery? They knew what I was on about. Straight away, she said, hello friend, please check. So she sends me a grid. And as you can see, it says what cells you want. I went for the EV cells because I think they're just as good. And for me, I don't overly ride my bikes. It's more doing projects, seeing what I can do with them. So the EV cells, 20 amp capacity, that's more enough for me. 120 amp continuous, 200 amp max, more than fine. $360. So it goes down to Samsung 50, the 50S cells, that's 25 amp, so it has 5 amp more radius. 20 amp with only 175 max discharge. That's $485, so that was an extra $125. I didn't need that. And then you can go down, you've got the Moni cells, and that goes up to 600, and then the Moni cells P45B, that's 689. So it's nearly double the price. I've done a lot of research, I've got a lot of videos about the Chinese cells, and the EV is the best Chinese cells as a budget cell, if you're not going with like LG, Samsung, the rest, Monocell. But I've never seen anyone have any problem with them. So I clicked on that, I had a look, and then it said at the bottom, it just said about you can have your peak for 10 seconds, and then it just said what comes with it is your charger, and then it says shipping for UK by sea is $68. What's good? Because a lot of places you get kits and everything, they want to charge you $100. That's where they try and make their extra money. Or air by $288. I went by sea. I'm not in a rush. If I was in a rush, maybe I'd pay the extra $220, but would I? Because then I'll just get a bigger battery. It's not, for me, when I do a project, I look into the future, so I'm not really in a rush. 8 to 10 weeks. It took, I'd say 8 to 10 weeks. It was probably banging that time frame. Every time I've ordered with them, it's always been a sort of similar time frame, so it's never been a problem. I don't even bother them because I know I get my tracking number. And the thing is, the tracking number, this is another thing, when you get your tracking number and you go on like the Alibaba website with it and you sort of see, or tracking 17, it will say loaded on ship. Then your next one will be at sea, and then you'll get one when it's docked. What I do, when it tells you what cargo ship it's on, just copy the cargo ship, put it in Google, and it will tell you every day where the ship is in the world. So it will tell you what port it's going to, where it is, how long till it gets to the port. So that's a good tip. There's no point bothering them. They're not on the ship with it. Where it is on the ship. Follow the ship. It's the easiest thing to track. Right, and then I just said, do I get a discount as a returning customer? And she said, I'll give you the $15 And then I've also asked them if they'll do that for my subscribers. So you don't have to be a returning customer. You just have to tell them throttle and charge sent me to you. I don't get nothing for it. It's just an incentive for my subscribers. It's $15. It's not, you know what I mean, it's not loads, but it's something off. If they ever say, oh, and if it just say, Thought and Charge told me $15 I get off, if I mention their name. If you have any problems, let me know and I'll message them. It's not a problem. You will get it, believe me. She said, of course, blah, blah, blah. And then she asked me the shipping. Then she sent me just like, have you got the same address, blah, blah, blah. And then she sends you a invoice. So she'll send you the invoice with all your stuff on. She gets you to double check your address a couple of times, what's good, just to make sure what you're getting, your total, blah, blah, blah. My total was $419. And I think then there was some little charges I had to pay, but that's DDP because it's from C, so I don't get any tariffs and taxes. So that was done. And literally, is that okay? I said, that's fine. I paid. She once again said, can you check your address? I sent it. It was the final order total. Clicked on that, paid for it. And then and it just said, thank you. Then she always sends you, thank you for your support. We've received payment. It's going to take 5 days, blah, 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 8 to 10 weeks. Then your battery will be shipped. And it's literally as easy as that. And then I just said, can I get an extra lead for mine, please? And then she said, yeah, of course. And then she never did. She obviously forgot. But it's not the end of the world. I probably can order them for a few pounds, few dollars online. And I just said, can I have the local tracking number for the local courier? Because that's obviously, sometimes it can come up different for your local courier. So who's ever bringing it to your door, like UPS and everything else. That was done. Yeah, and she just sent me it straight away. And she said, you're welcome, my friend. So as a company, they're spot on. They pack it brilliantly. They use foam. They don't use the cheapy polystyrene which shreds everywhere, and I hate the noise. It goes through me, and you can't. I just don't like polystyrene. Foam, I think, is brilliant. They always send it. Everything comes nicely packed. If you have any problems, you message them. They get back to you straight away, and they're a busy company. They are a really busy company, and they will always get back to you. They'll give you advice, and yeah, I've even asked them other questions. So as a company and as the standard, and it's not just, don't take my word for it, have a look on their reviews as well. I think their review is about 4.9. They send you some stickers as well, what I always like, so you can put it on your next project. So you get some stickers sent with it, what's nice. And then you just get your user guide as well. What's rare for China to get any sort of written paperwork. And it's just full in English, perfect, all done. So as a company, I can't fault them. I would give them 10 out of 10. That the quality of their product, never had a problem. Communication, never had a problem. Delivery, never had a problem. And just never had a problem. So I can't go less than 10 out of 10 because I've never had a problem. So I know I've just said problem a lot. So yeah. So yeah, so that's brilliant. So the next video, we'll put this onto that bike on the original hub. I'm expecting it to blow pretty soon. I hope it don't seize while I'm doing like 50 mile an hour on it. That's the last thing I want. That wouldn't be great. But we're gonna put that on, see what happens, test the battery out, probably put it away for storage for a little bit till the weather starts changing in a few months' time. And then have that bike sprayed and do that really nicely. I'm going to make that bike so nice. And then I've got the trike I've got to do. I'm going to put like a mid-range motor on the middle and just see how we get away with that. And like I said, got New York trip coming up. We've got lots going on. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for subscribing, all my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Even if it's you want me to review any company, and I can, obviously I won't have the product straight away in front of me. I might have it here somewhere, but if I don't, I go through, I email them, I give them templates, I get their response, I look at customers' reviews, good, bad, the ugly, everything, and I come to my decision. Obviously you'll come to your decision, but I give you my honest opinion, and then you come to your own opinion. I'm not telling you to buy or not to buy it. I'll tell you what I think. And then sometimes if you're thinking the same thing, it can give you that sort of like, no, I was thinking that. I've got a bit of backup here. I'm thinking the same thing. So that's the way we play. So once again, thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I don't think you can do much else on YouTube, can you? If you can, just do it. That'd be great.